Ready to set up data libraries for Agentforce in less than 10 minutes? Hi, awesome admins. I'm Kate Lassard, lead admin evangelist on the admin relations team at Salesforce, and your host of Kate Clicks Through It, where we don't just talk Salesforce, we click through it. If you're anything like me and you learn best by doing, you're in the right place. Each episode will walk through a back-end process step by step so that you can follow along and master Salesforce like a pro. Ready to dive in? Let's click through it. Agentforce is a game changer for Salesforce admins because it allows us to ground AI in our own data and processes. With Agentforce, you can ensure that AI is deeply integrated in your business. Instead of agents going out and scouring the internet for generic answers, they are looking at your internal data and documentation, providing precise and business-specific responses to your users and to your customers. Setting up Agentforce data libraries plays a crucial role in enhancing the accuracy, the personalization, and trustworthiness of AI responses. By setting up data libraries, you're indexing your data using your knowledge articles, fields, file uploads, and even web sources to provide the best possible answers. With data libraries in place, you can rest assured that Agentforce is working with the most up-to-date and relevant answers so that it's giving the best possible responses to your users and your customers. Let's dive into creating our own Agentforce data library together. To set up Agentforce data libraries, we have to start off in Setup. So I'm going to click Setup here and open up the Setup tab. To use Agentforce data libraries, we also have to have Data Cloud set up. So let's go ahead and check that our Salesforce org has Data Cloud set up and that we're ready to get started. I'm going to head to the quick find box and just start to type in Data Cloud and head to Data Cloud Setup Home. All right, you can see here that my Data Cloud instance is live and connected to my home org. If this is not the case for you, you can sign up for a free Agentforce Developer Edition that will have Data Cloud and Agentforce enabled so that you can click along beside me. There are two ways that you can set up your Agentforce data library. I'm going to show you both, but I like to do this from the Agentforce data library directly. So let's start there. I'm going to head back to my quick find box here in Setup, and I'm going to start to type in data library. I'll open up Agentforce data library. And you can see here that I currently have two libraries available. I have a knowledge library, and then I have user agreements with a data source of files. We're going to recreate this, so I'm going to delete this, and we're going to start fresh. Okay, so this is your home base and a great place to see all of your data libraries in one place. Let's go ahead and add a new library. So we'll click here on New Library and just type in a little bit of information. We're going to use our default data space, and let's go ahead and call this User Agreement. The API name will auto-populate for you, and we'll enter in a description. I'm just going to say files related to user agreement and protection, and click Save. So technically, I have a data library now. What is the data type? So I think it's really important to note that in a data library, you can only have one data type, and once it's created, it can't be changed. So this means that if you were using libraries to access knowledge, files, and website information, you would need a new library for each of those for your agent to use. So you saw that we already had our knowledge library set up, so let's go ahead and try a different data type together. Our options are knowledge, files, and web. Let's go ahead and click web and see what happens. So if I click web as my data type, I need to turn on web search so that my agent can search relevant websites to enrich data and improve the accuracy of results. I'm going to close out of that, and let's go ahead and click files and see what happens. So here, when we have files selected as our data type, this is where we're able to upload any PDFs or HTML documents that we need in our library. Conveniently, I have a PDF all ready to go, so let's upload it together. I'm just going to drag it from my desktop right here, you can see that's going to open up what this user agreement looks like. Let's head back here. I've got to drop it right in that box. All right. So it can take a little bit of time for your files to upload. Go ahead, try it out in your org, and I will wait. Okay. Once it's ready, we can just click Done. And you can see there it is in our files data. So you can continue to come back to the data library and add additional files as your library grows or as your documentation changes. So if I ever needed to replace the file that we just uploaded with a newer version, I could add it to the library and then remove this original just by clicking that down arrow and then removing from library. So that is how you create the library itself. But what about putting it to use in Agentforce? Let's go to Agentforce Studio and give our agent access to the new data library. I'm going back to my quick find box and I'm going to type in agents. Okay, we will click on Agentforce Agents. And I am going to scroll down and open up our default employee agent. From here, I am going to open in Builder. And we are now in our employee agent ready to add our data library so that our agent can reference the files that we imported. So let's take a look at the data screen. We can do that by clicking this data tab over here, the second option on the left-hand side. And remember when we first got started and I mentioned that there were two ways that you could build out data libraries? This is that other way. So you can add libraries directly from this page, and you can do so when you select a library here. You can actually click this new library button and you can go through those same steps, selecting your data type. You can see again, we can choose our files here, add our files data, and save. But I'm going to cancel out of this since we've already created our data library. And in Select Library, I'm going to select our user agreements. All right. You can just scroll down. Again, you can add additional files here, uploading them or dropping the files. You can also take the actions of removing from library here. And this is how you can connect your data library directly to your agent. So from here, I would just click Save. And then if you're in a conversation with your agent already and you'd like to start asking questions about the file that you just uploaded, all you'll have to do is click this refresh button over here in the conversation preview. And that is going to allow you to go ahead and start to have that conversation again, asking questions about the file that you've uploaded. You might be wondering what to do if your agent needs access to multiple data libraries. So what if your agent needs access to knowledge files and to use web search? You can add multiple libraries to the same agent. You would just go back to that main screen and continue to go ahead and select the additional libraries or create them directly right here. Once your library has been saved, you can test out your changes, and you are ready to go using Agentforce data libraries. As Salesforce admins, we know that processes and documentation change all the time, and that our users and our customers need the most accurate and up-to-date information. Maintaining data libraries gives us the power to add accuracy, add personalization, and build trust in our autonomous agents so that our users can be more productive. To dive deeper into Agentforce data libraries, check out Agentforce Decoded on the Salesforce Admins YouTube channel. If you weren't clicking along with me today but want to get hands-on with data libraries, you can also head over to Trailhead and tackle the Agentforce for Service Super Badge. That's a wrap on this click-through. If this was helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments what click-throughs would be helpful in the future. Until then, keep clicking and keep learning.